Hey everyone, we're here at 550 feet with a big chunk of experience. So around 550, the number one thing I start to think about is shadow spiders, because they're the worst. They move fast, they bite you to blind, and they exude darkness. And you need about 4 light radius to deal with them. So we sort of have a backup plan right now, which is, if they do show up, we have 2 light from our lamp, and then we can equip this great sword of Doriath for some more light, and hopefully that'll be enough. Because we have inner light as well. So when they're right next to us, we should be able to smash them with the sword. It's going to be tricky because we'll have to get rid of our shield, but it's the best we can do right now. I could take King Senses to kind of sort of deal with that, but I don't want to be honest. We have Haunted Dreams, so we're already going to be able to see Solroko if they show up. And yeah, I mean, maybe we'll do it later, but one thing I was thinking that we could do now is just buff melee so that we can hit things really well, but our longsword, often I'm using a battle axe at this stage, so plus 16 would be much less. It would be like around plus 13 or something, plus 12. And we may have to switch to that axe once in a while. But plus 16 we're hitting things, we have okay protection. So what I could do is buy the next couple of things that are important to this build, which are sprinting, and zone of control. Those would be the 2. Momentum, we get some use out of momentum, I think, because right now charge is getting us nowhere. So we could get 2d12 on charge. There's a bunch of places we could sort of take this. But one thing to note is that around 550, the other thing you have to deal with is that probably you're likely to get a vault or something, so werewolves are going to show up, and that's really when I want both zone of control and crit resistance. So that kind of answers my question. I think I'll get zone of control first. And then, where is critical resistance on this tree? We need 2 more. So we can bop up Will a little. When we need it, I guess, because I guess it'll get us a bit more protection. Yeah, let's do that for now. Maybe we'll regret it. But then the next few things that we're looking for on our list are Constitution, critical resistance, obviously, maybe momentum, and then sprinting. Because sprinting and flanking you can do some pretty cute tricks with. So, the other thing that we should be worried about, actually, is red serpents that breathe fire, because we don't have a source of fire resist yet. If that happens, your shield counts towards your protection against breath. So we will keep our shield on for sure, and hopefully charge them with an axe. See, look, I told you, this happens all the time. So these guys I could switch to Bulldog. Let's see if this helps. And you see, like, the way they move, they're not very smart. So you can get a lot of hits off on them. What throwing weapons? I've just recently been playing a different character, so this is really bewildering. Great. That's my favorite thing, when a new monster who would give you a lot of experience hurts you and runs away. That's awesome. I don't actually remember what the native depth of werewolves is. I think it's 600 feet, so it's not out of the question to meet them here. Oh, that's great. Okay, so now we can drop this Haunted Dreams altogether. And then I'm going to use... How much fuel do I have on that? That's annoying. That's okay. I'll just hang on to it for now. Oh, I guess, wait. I thought I was wearing a Lantern of Brightness. I'm an idiot. So I'm just going to use this for reals. I will fuel from the shitty one and drop that. Yeah. The other character I'm playing had a brass lantern of brightness already, so I was a bit confused. Do we have a digger yet? Yes, we do. And we're reasonably ahead of the clock, so. The +3 arrows would actually probably be better than the poisoned ones, or even the piercing ones. Reason being is that we're only really going to use arrows to hit like really annoying monsters. And those tend to not have any HP really. So being able to hit them is more important than how much damage you're doing. So the question is, what is this? It's a shadow spider. It's funny how the two things I mentioned as being awful were the first two things to show up. So this is bad. I want to get out of sight of this shadow spider because he's terrible to deal with. Good thing is we can see him when he's right in front of us. I don't even have to switch to the greatsword, which means I might just drop that greatsword, we'll see. But this werewolf, I think, saw me. So he wants to kill me, and that giant doesn't. So this is actually a pretty good situation. Hopefully he's going to stay unwary, because they're pretty dumb. He will chase me. This guy will stay in his hallway. You have to be careful, though, because when monsters move this way, if he parks here, I think sometimes while this wolf runs through, he'll displace him into the room, and then he'll have line of sight of me again, which is not what we want. So I'm going to close this. And just get out of that room altogether. Where'd he go? Is he running? I guess I could also throw the Spear Bulldog at him. We have a bit more experience. I think I'll take crit resistance at this point. So here's a question. Like when you get heavy armor and you're, well, forget the heavy armor part. When you're out in the open, you know, fighting big fights in the middle of a room, one of the natural abilities to think of is crowd fighting, because it halves the bonus that the evasion bonus or melee bonus that opponents get for surrounding you. The thing is though, when you have 11 evasion, that's really like, it's helpful. You get like maybe -5 to their melee or something, but it's not the same sort of scary thing as when you're relying entirely on evasion to save you, because really it's the criticals over here that are going to hurt us with high protection. And I don't actually know if any of this math works out, but long story short is I would rather have crit resistance than crowd fighting, and I tend to just not take crowd fighting really, unless I have a profusion of experience later. So this shadow spider is here, I guess. So, not bad. If you can see them, they're not terrible. I complain about them all the time. I still think they're awful. But, man, there's a lot of awful stuff coming. So the Ring Roko hit really hard. 3d8 if you don't have cold resist. And you can see we're having a bit of a hard time hitting slightly advanced monsters, so that means I've been neglecting melee for a while. That's a Balrog. And he is really out of depth. This is kind of silly. So I think I'm just going to flee the level. We have Constitution, Strength, Grace. We don't have Fire Resist though, which means he's probably just going to kill us. I would like to kill this Ring Roko, but it's not happening here. Maybe I'll Zoc him. Is he running? Where's he going? Okay. But this is one of these discretion is a better part of valor things. I would like to know what's in this cute little vaulty room. But I'm pretty sure, even if I buff Constitution, Strength's not really going to help us, and Grace isn't really going to help us. So really I'll just have a lot of HP, and I'm going to have a hard time. These guys have good protection. I guess I could switch to the axe. If I had like a Nargothrond weapon, I would give it a shot. but this just seems like an entirely bad idea. So. Might as well stop and get some experience while I can. And that's the other problem with him, is that, like, I have pretty good will, but all he does is try to scare you all the time, and I don't really have anything to deal with that, so forget it. Wow. But you can see how things can kind of spiral out of control, because really, we took a shaft down to a 550, and we were kind of dragging ass. So really, this is like a 450-foot character in terms of strength, and all of a sudden we're fighting dudes that are from 700 feet. Like, that's a pretty big jump. So I would rather survive and show you guys the rest of the game than get munched by a Balrog. So this is different, though. So he's sort of like a checkpointy monster like Gorgal is, this Gillen guy. Because he has a really hard time hitting you, but +9 is actually pretty good for somebody who hits for 4d9. And he actually hits for 5d9, so 50 damage, roughly-ish, max. Because we don't have cold resistance. And he has a lot of health. So for us, this is not really a good combination. If you have high evasion, he's a little bit less scary. And we have decent protection, but if he gets a couple hits off, we will die. So what I might do is... the more crits we can hit him for, the better. And if I had sprinting, I could probably run rings around him or something, but I guess we have enough for sprinting. Meh. I'd rather just kill dudes. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So with him in particular, this is bad. And what I should have done actually was close the door on him and see if I could scope out the other rooms, because what arrows do I have? Okay, not bad. I like to keep him throwing these boulders for as long as possible, because, worst, that was a mistake. What I was saying is that when he throws a boulder, oh wow, it actually has better 2-hit than his hit. I thought it was less. And it looks like this counts as some sort of arrow, so maybe you get half, okay, I didn't know that. But it doesn't do super damage, at least. 64 is a lot better than 49. So I'm hoping we can kill him with axes before he gets out of here. Sweet. Quickness, Greaves of free action. Do we have free action? No. 1d3 Greaves are pretty good. But this thing that Irmi is doing for us where we light the dungeon behind us is not super amazing. And I think the only other thing it does is sustain dex, yeah. Although that could have been why we saw the Shadow Spider before. You know, I'm just going to pick these up and take them with me. This is the best thing about being a strong dude, is you don't have to worry about... You can be very indecisive. This Chronic Command, I seriously doubt I'm ever going to use it. But I want to make an extra hole in our inventory because why? I want to be able to take off my shield if I need to. Sanctity, Light, Freedom, all those are pretty good. Warding is not so great. Yeah, I can't... These are all potentially either life-saving or they can get us a cool thing. This Chronic Command, it'll be cute, but realistically, if we ever sing later, it'll be for slaying or for sharpness. I'll probably regret doing that later, but what the hell. I can always just take Song of Mastery, it's not that big a deal. Sure. Oh, I thought these were native depth 4 something. Oh my god, amazing. This is such a great find for this depth. What's on my hands right now? So there's a bunch of reasons why this is amazing. There's no melee penalty, and it's a set of gauntlets of strength. That's wicked. So let's get rid of this. And at this point, actually, this is where momentum really starts to become attractive. What's our axe look like when we use this? 3d9, and how heavy is it? 4 pounds. Well, okay, let's just live with this crazy extra strength for a while, and then we'll figure out what to do with it, because we don't really have a great weapon for momentum yet. 7, I mean, we're pretty close. Kind of 6 of one, hefted in the other. Oh damn, I thought I had one of those already. So we probably don't need all this food. Healing's useful, true sight, yep, that's useful. Everything's useful. I'm trying to think of what is going to be an entrancing problem. We're going to meet dragons like reasonably soon, so I don't want to drop these free action greeds and then discover that I just can't find anymore. Sanctity is sort of a nice to have. There might be a couple curse things we want to use, but I guess I could always take curse breaking. The light thing is really nice to have. I hate this analysis paralysis crap. True sight is actually probably the most useful, I mean useless thing we have right now. I was keeping Bulldog for wolves. Alright, you know what, I'm just going to suck it up, and if I have to get rid of my shield, I'll hopefully go back and pick it up. And the frustrating thing is literally the only reason I'm carrying that Greatsword of Doriath right now is because of shadow spiders. Like, it's the only reason. All these other dudes, I can kill them, so I'm not super concerned. Oh, hi. I think you are Orcaball, yeah, okay. Let's bring you into a place where I can actually see what's happening. Which way is exit? Let's bring him down here. That was not what I wanted to happen. Out of my way, guys. Where'd he go? Oh, I wish I had 1500 experience. I would actually take sprinting just to kill him. And this is where I die, because what I'm doing right now is really dumb, so don't do this. Alright, well I guess that was not... I'm not really scared of these archers that much anymore, my protection's high enough. Orcaball might not run off the stage. He might go like lick his wounds or something and come back. But he does drop good stuff occasionally, so I really didn't want to lose him. And sometimes I just don't pay attention to my flanking moves, but okay. I want to make sure that I don't. Come on. Right here. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna have to remember to go back and get my axes. What about the spear bulldog? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, nice. Okay. What's my... That's pretty much a drop-in replacement for my short bow, so that works. Not really worth it, I guess, but at least we got some experience. I think I'm just going to take sprinting because this is super obnoxious. I guess I'm supposed to be showing you guys like a stable build, but I think this should demonstrate that, you know... Why didn't I pick those up? Do I not have room anymore? Like, I have a guideline, I know which abilities I want to get, but when something gets really annoying, I'll just deal with it. Oh, hi. Okay, sure. We're still doing okay for depth. What other uniques did I kill? I don't remember. I got Bulldog last time, right? But we haven't got Othred yet. Gotta catch them all. I mean, one thing that is sort of bothering me is we have all this extra strength that we're just, like, we're not weaponizing it at all. It's not helping us very much. But we're doing enough damage right now, so I'm not super worried. Things are dying fast enough that it's not a problem. If we run into what is soon to be a big problem, which is Kemenroko, is that a thief or an important guy? It's a thief. Shadow Worms is going to get out of hand, I guess. That's a lot of our champions. Look how colorful this is. Oh, I have follow through now too, don't I? Because of the sword, I forgot. That's why I was using it. Oh, and I remember in one of the last episodes, I lost an axe and I was trying to figure out why. I went back and I watched it and I discovered that... Oops. What was that? What was I saying? Oh, I discovered that axes can actually break. So I think one... no, I don't think. I saw one break against a wall, and that's what happened there. Oh, what am I doing? So you can do cute things with flanking too there, because I was running around him. And depending on how wide a circle you run, you can actually keep your sprinting speed up. See, so I'm actually still sprinting right now. Which is, I guess, a bit ridiculous, but it works. What's that? Glaive. Oh yeah, right. So we're kind of raffle stomping this floor right now. This is not so bad. I might get out of here soon. What's it look like? This is another huge floor. So against fast monsters like wargs, running that circle and keeping your sprinting speed up is actually useful because it negates their best advantage, which is speed. It's just awful with fleeing monsters because if you want to keep that speed up, you kind of have to break your cadence. I guess it's kind of a hilarious mental image too to think about a dude just running in circles around the dungeon, whacking people sideways, but... So, nether worms are probably going to eat this level pretty soon. I can still get a good experience bucket for killing them, so I'm going to probably do it, but... I don't really want to spend the next few floors completely grace drained. What's happening here? I was saying I really want a +2 cloak. Yeah. Follow through is actually really great for worms. If you can get a head start on hitting one of them, it's great. Nice. Alright, that's pretty much a straight upgrade. So our protection is starting to get to a respectable number. I don't think I'm getting much experience for these anymore, so it's probably not worth it. Oh, that's convenient. Okay, I'm going to take this as a sign. See you, suckers. Although I wonder if this was... That's a straight upgrade to my current one. This is a pretty bad idea. I thought this looked kind of like maybe a special area where there might be stuff, like strength potions. So I thought I'd go check it out. Is there a better downstairs, or was that the only one? I'll just go around. Nice. Okay, that was done. So 600 feet. Again, I'm still a little bit worried about red serpents, but there's not a heck of a lot we can do about that. I guess we'll buff melee a bit. I should probably go for... so one of the things we can do about it, actually, is go for Constitution, because in that case, even if they breathe right on us, we'll probably survive. So, I don't know, we'll see. Shadow Spider. Okay, this is awful. The reason why I switched to the Greatsword there was, first of all, I keep saying I'm going to, but because Soroko, you also want a big weapon for them too. Oh, I was going to say, wow, shielded protection, but it's actually mine. Where did he flee to? I guess down here. Jerk. It's bad enough you try to kill me. It's even worse that you flee before I get the experience. Bastard swords might be an option if we find a good one, I guess. Sure. I'm sort of wondering while I'm running around here if I should just switch to those Greaves of Free Action and get the extra protection. Yeah, definitely not what I need right now. Okay. Oh, that's a shadow. Those are kind of like a worst case scenario for this build because they hit very hard and they ignore protection and they have pretty good melee too. So all of our weaknesses are exposed. Is that an Oath Wraith? Is this like Undead Land or something? I'm not super scared of the Oath Wraith because, well, I guess I should put, this would be a case where I would want to put on free action. Because if he entrances me and then that shadow comes and punches me in the face, it's going to hurt a lot. I'm going to switch to a bigger weapon because these things are annoying. Oh, cool. Thanks. It's important to thank your enemies when they drop chests. Keeps them happy. Oh my goodness, can you guys just leave me alone for a second so I can check out my stuff in peace? Good. I'm very paranoid about opening chests near other stuff. Healing, Mirror, that's annoying. You know what, screw these army boots, I'm just gonna suck it up. Blarg. So I'm gonna get out of here because I'm assuming he just woke everything up. So, perfect. Remember how I said that at 550 to 600 feet you basically have to deal with the rest of the dungeon? This is case in point. So these guys come from 750, so that's way out of depth. Normally these would just crush us, but we took crit resistance with sort of advanced knowledge that this might happen. Trying to find a big room. And so now we can start playing with... Oh, crap. I miskeyed. So this is a case where we want to pick up our speed. Sort of dash around them. And nothing to it. So those guys are usually deadly if you don't have a plan for them. With really low evasion, even with high protection, they can crit you all over the place. I'm really waffling on this momentum thing because I don't know if it's going to be worth it no matter what weapon we get. I guess with charge it's always kind of worth it. But maybe I'll go for Constitution next. Let's... How far am I from that? Far. Yeah, let's wait. Because, I mean, we're still doing okay, like I said. And nothing... The thing with this area of the dungeon is that most of the really dangerous monsters... you don't really need to do a lot of damage, you just need to be able to hit them. And the cats are definitely in that category. Okay, so nether worms are going to ruin my life now, so I'm just going to... Sick. Of course I don't have any inventory space. Let's drop the spear for a sec. Let's go pick this up. Go back and get my spear before I forget. I might just quit this level. This is rage-inducing. Not bad. What am I even wearing? 1d3. Defiance actually pretty good. Normal helm, a better helm, and a crown. I don't know. This Defiance, I'm tempted to take it. Because the fear resist is actually pretty good. Let's do it. Who needs evasion at all? Oh, are those snow trolls? It's like we're dancing. Back. Okay. We have got to find some stairs. So I'm starting to wonder if it's worth just resetting the level. I hate resetting levels just in case I miss something. It's like this ridiculous mental thing. Oh, Wicked. Where did you come from? It's like you knew. Clarity I don't really need. Darn it. And, I mean, I think at some level, if you get far away enough from the worms, they stop breeding. I think that's like how it's supposed to work. I don't know if that's actually how it works. Damn you. But I'm just hoping I'll find it downstairs before things get really bad. Otherwise, we'll pick up a big weapon, eat a rage potion and or herb, and carve our way through. It's not very nice. I guess I could switch to Bulldog here. Yeah, wow, that's way better. Okay. My sample size of 1, it's way better. That's a Frost Serpent, that's really bad. Although, we might be in time to take Constitution. Nope. Okay, you. I kinda wanna kill you. I have these piercing arrows, maybe I could try that. And I should probably switch to the battle axe in case I actually need to hit it. What the hell? This is really not working. Oh, that was not bad. I should have stood back a little bit so I didn't break all my arrows. Okay, not bad. Oh, why don't I throw a Bulldog? Wow, we're like super lucky with chests. What trap is that? Oh wow, there was no trap. Yeah, not so useful. Also not useful. Male corselet. Good stuff. So this is a Shadow Serpent or a Shadow Bat. And wait, shadow spider or shadow bat, and a frost serpent. How much do I need for constitution? My next ability will cost 1500, so if I go to here, I need 1500. Let's get out of here. So the good thing is that frost serpent will probably kill the spider for me, but now it ran. What's not good is that they pop potions when they hit you. See? It's pretty much the worst thing ever. Sweet. Oh, of course we don't have room. That ring protection is giving us like a base boost to our protection, so I guess I'll trade off evasion. I could just carry the frost as a swap, but it's a huge pain. It's nice to have one source of fire resist on all the time, if you can manage it. Just in case something sneaks up on you and breathes on your face. One thing you want to be very cautious of with a build like this is trading out protection. If you find yourself swapping out things that make your protection go down, be very careful. Think twice before you do that, because it's pretty much the only thing that's keeping you alive. I guess all those netherworms took a nap. This seems to me like it's time to get out of here. Oh, there's a fire serpent. Let's kill that, because unless it was a baby drake or something, it's possible. Yeah, baby drake. That's not so bad. I love when you throw stuff at them, and then they breathe on it and burn it. That's the best. Yeah, we should descend. But this is just me, I have a really hard time not exploring level. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, one more hallway. I just don't want to say bye to you guys, that's what it is. Oh yeah, I guess they would have just totally opened up the level here. Oh, this is where the Silent Watcher is. Actually, this would be really cool to see what's here. Jeweled crown. Is that a Deathblade? That's a Deathblade. Shite. So I need to switch to a bigger weapon. Not bad. Okay. Why isn't the Silent Watcher doing anything? How is he still unwary? I guess there was nothing in these rooms. It was worth it. Just monsters. Okay, so that's worth it. I would say that's probably better than warding. You know what, screw this Sanctity staff. If I find Calrus or something, I'm not going to use it anyways. Okay guys, I get it. You don't want me here. I'm out. What's that? Oh wow, we have a lot of experience. Okay, so let's... Sweet, so now we have a bit of HP. If we find a corselet of resilience, hopefully sometime soon, or an amulet of con, we can bump our HP up a bit more. And probably the next thing we should do is keep pumping melee and take momentum if we're going to commit to this longsword thing. At least we'll get some more out of our charges. And then sort of the late term plan is to go for Song of Sharpness if we don't find a sharp weapon that's useful. Really, for this kind of build where you want to be using the shield, the only sharp weapons I can think of that you would really use would be Anglakel or Angrel, the Bastard Swords. And those are hard to find, so it's not very likely. But if we do find it, great. If not, we'll just end up sucking it up and taking Song of Sharpness. But we're doing okay. So far, so good. And I guess at this depth, sort of the scary things are if there's a really out-of-depth thing, like a really out-of-depth Balrog, a really out-of-depth, like Ancient Serpent, for example. But sort of native to this depth, we're going to start running into a lot of cats again. A lot of serpents that breathe everything. I'm trying to think of what else. Oath Wraiths can be bad if you don't have free action, because they can freeze you. With High Will, though, not such a big deal. And I think that's probably really the most risky things. Like the cat uniques can show up here too, and just some general uniques that are really nasty. But in terms of all the bases we'd want to have covered, like Fire Resist is a big one, we have it now. Cold Resist is great if you can find it. If you can find a weapon of Nargothrond that slays demons, it's great because the Balrogs start to show up a lot around here and you can get some cool stuff if you can kill them easily. But in terms of the holes we wanted to cover with this build, we're doing okay. And this is one build where in previous videos I've said, you know, before you go crazy buying abilities, make sure you invest a lot in basic skills. And normally what that would mean is buffing both melee and evasion. In this case we're opting more towards will, but normally around here we'd be trying to hit, you know, like 13 evasion, 13 melee. Whereas by not spending on evasion and really going towards protection, it doesn't cost us anything in terms of experience to put stuff on. So it allows us to use that experience elsewhere by increasing our constitution, making ourselves more hardy, and really just being able to hit things. As long as we can keep moving around and doing damage, and forcing monsters to cancel whiff a lot of their attacks, we'll be okay. So that was fun, and we will see you guys next time.